Hi everyone, this is Team 37. We are the Brown Monday, presenting our project on understanding political polarization using natural language processing. We try to find political polarization actually exists and the factors that influence it. Our aim is to look at this project through purely a natural language based approach. We thus have no views on the political discourse in the United States. We explore this problem through different algorithms like word-to-vec and doc-to-vec, transformers, etc. Along the way, we try to learn more about these architectures. To the best of our knowledge, this is the first time such an approach is being used. Our dataset is from Wikipedia. Please be generous, we worked very hard. Data extraction. We fetch data from the Wikipedia pages of different politicians. We fetch from the 104th Congress, which was in 1995, right up to the current, the 117th Congress. We have tried to look at all the politicians on the national level, including senators and Congress members. We looked at the respective Congress and fetched the personal pages of the politicians using Beautiful Soup. We went through the HTML pages in XML format using Beautiful Soup and collected the data for certain tags. This entire process took us about a month. Data cleaning. This was an iterative process. We first cleaned the data only to get the relevant information, but we still had to manually annotate the data to regroup into political information and background information. The reason for this is our hypothesis that the politicians are polarized. If the politicians are polarized, the background information will also provide a lot of information. We further remove party names, presidents, independent candidates, and people who changed parties to remove bias. We then use this data for further processing. Exploratory analysis. To see if our hypothesis actually made sense, we use simpler models like word-to-vec and doc-to-vec. Embedding from doc-to-vec models gave us a clustering of 63.825%. One thing to note here is that this is binary classification, so even a random coin toss will give us 50%. Clustering shows underlying information, and a simple binary classification gives us 72.5%. We are classifying members as either being Republican or Democrat. Further, using word-to-vec, we get word embeddings, which we use to find the nearest neighbors using ANOI and KNN. This gave us some interesting results. For example, the word gun has checks as the closest third neighbor for Democrats and 11th for Republican. Also, as can be seen, the neighbors are words which are quite politically charged. Baseline transformer. Our baseline used is Roberta large, which is a transformer. We use this to create embeddings, which are used to get an accuracy of 66.7% on k-means and 77.63 using a simple SVM classifier. Roberta only uses 512 tokens at a time, hence we lose out a lot of information. A little educational side for viewers. The transformer architecture that we studied in the class is used for BERT. Roberta is built on top of BERT. And in Roberta, the hyperparameters and learning strategies that are changed from those of BERT, which gives us higher accuracy. However, Longformer is better suited and more suited for our needs since we have documents which frequently go over 20,000 tokens, and 512 tokens just doesn't cut it. Longformer is a beast and can take up to 4,096 tokens. It does so using linear attention scaling that is used while Roberta uses a quadratic scale. The Longformer large model gives us 81.1% on political data and 71.8% on background data. This is important as it shows that our hypothesis holds true and political polarization does indeed exist, since in an ideal world, only the political stances of an individual would matter. Here is a brief project summary. Explainability. To further understand the political polarization, we leverage the attention mechanisms of the Longformer and find words which affect the attention the most. We find attention scores for the CLS token with the rest of the words and find the highest scores. Results show that the words such as congressman, representative, and abortion show up higher on the attention list. Also, to understand the results, we look at the nearest neighbors of politicians using embeddings and try to find how polarizing each member is based on the neighbors. Here is a link that you can follow. This is just an interactive link that where we want you to look at different members from different parties and look at the data set either being background or politics. The graph shows different members. The red here shows being Republican, blue being Democratic, being ranked